The opinions expressed by the guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the hosts or the producers of this show.
Hey, it's your girl, Renee Graziano, and this is the CrySis Queen podcast. Today's guest is a very dear friend, a sister, no doubt, Somaya Reece.
Oh, thank you for having me, and congratulations on your new podcast.
Thank you.
And your 7 years.
7 months.
7 months.
I wish I was 7 years.
Oh, girl.
If I was 7 years, I'd be running, streaking.
Right. Congratulations on your 7 months, because every day that you can overcome something so personal, so traumatic, so deep and emotional is a win. And I'm so proud of you.
And I am so proud of you because you definitely know about triumph.
Yeah.
You definitely do. We go through the trials and the tribulations. Yeah. Trials, no pun intended, but however, ours have been in court. Mine definitely have. But it shaped us into the women that we are now.
Right.
You know, and this fits me, no pun intended, is perfect for you because you're the epitome of a strong woman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And witness glory. I want to jump into it.
Sure.
Because I want you to explain that to me.
Sure. Well, Witness Glory was it's a record that was written both in part as life lyrics, things I haven't shared publicly, considering where we're at now in today's society. I think it's necessary.
Absolutely.
And I was speaking up for myself as a woman. And at the same time, you know, I feel that, you know what it's like when people tell you to not celebrate your wins.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's considered bragging. But I realize that it's only bragging to a hater.
Ooh.
It's only considered bragging to a hater. Because when someone tells me about their wins, you know me, I'm a cheerleader. So I'm like, yes, that's amazing.
We are in the celebration.
Right, we're in the celebration. We're not like trying to cop block nobody. You know what I mean? So for me, it was really about like I'm celebrating my wins. You know, who I was before is not who I am today. However, it shaped me into the woman I am today.
And goddamn, do you have some shape. So give me your top 3 wins right now.
Sure. Peace.
Ooh, that's above everything. God's grace
above
and mercy.
Above all, I choose happiness, peace, and unconditional love.
I love it.
There is nothing anybody could tell me that I want to be involved in no bullshit.
Absolutely.
But somehow, you know, it comes for strong women like us. It will always try to come into our space.
Absolutely, because nobody wants to see that true peace. Somebody achieve the true peace that they're desperate for.
Right. And, you know, that's number one. My second win, I would say that I have truly learned to stand firm in my boundaries.
Stand for something or fall for everything.
And it took a lot of time. I would have to say, I will definitely say that a big part of someone that played a huge role in it is Kay, which is, you know, my wifey. And, you know, I've always been a strong woman, but when you have had to like sit alone for a long time, battling your demons, wanting to be better, just trying to overcome the things that no one teaches us about.
Right.
You realize that a lot of that has to do with maybe you never set boundaries. And we're firm in it, or we thought we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
boundaries.
We weren't firm.
Right.
And they're tricky.
They are, because sometimes what you think is a boundary, another person might be like, oh, that's a favor to me. No, you can't cross over. I can't do that for you because of this reason. And people look at you, oh, she's snobby, she's stuck up, or she thinks who she is now.
That's because their love for you is conditional.
Conditional love. And
we've all been there.
Absolutely. And I personally think the only true love that isn't conditional is when a baby is first born.
Of course.
My grandson's 7, and my love is sometimes conditional. It's like
that's different, though. You know,
it is, but it's still. But you get to see how the mind starts to change.
Oh yeah,
it's like we were in Target, and he shakes me down. This kid. And I was like, you can only have one gift. You decided we wanted to get Candyland. We're gonna play it. As soon as we got in, he's like, nay. could you buy me the Pokemon cards? I said, no.
See, all you have to do is bat an eye to me, and I'm like, okay, honey, yes.
Yeah, but he got mad at me in Target. He got mad at me in Target. I was like, and then he's like, well, what do you don't have money? And I'm like, Anthony, I most certainly do.
It be your own grandchildren, okay?
No, but that's the purest love.
It is pure.
Ugh.
You know, it's like if
You could find it in a grown human too.
Oh, I do know. Yeah, you can also find it within yourself because what happens is that, you know, if we want to go back to like our child's innocence,
yes,
the inner child in us, right, we really were very pure and very innocent, and then the world tainted us, and then things that happened in our home tainted us, experiences, friendships, the decline of
love
relationships. Like it all has a bit of an effect in us, right? And it's one of those things that I've learned that I wanted to unlearn and revert back to
starting fresh
and knowing how to receive and give unconditional love.
I'm glad you actually started back at childhood because I want to touch on some things with you about childhood. Could you, I mean, for people that have lived under a rock, Somaya Reece has just been a huge star from day one, whether it was Love and Hip Hop and your music career, which is tremendous, creating brands. I want people to get to know that innocent little Somaya, and when you, not that you weren't innocent any longer, but your situation around you wasn't innocent.
Right. The tainting of children.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So I have always been a dreamer. I've always been a protector of other kids as well, which is why I'm so like that now. And that has never died in me. However, when I was a child growing up, I had two parents, but my father was like my biggest supporter. I am a hardcore daddy's girl, big time. Like my dad, if I told my dad, like, Daddy, I want to fly a plane, and then I also want to like own, I don't know, Taco Tuesday, and then
I want the
DJ,
clouds.
and I want to he's like, okay, whatever you want, dream big. That. My father, since I was a little girl, always instilled in me to like dream big, respect yourself, respect others until disrespected. But it's always been like a very positive forward movement. My mother, on the other hand, tried the best she could, but she wasn't loved correctly as a daughter. So therefore, she couldn't love me correctly as a daughter because words...
She didn't know how to give it.
She didn't know how to give it because she didn't receive it. And these are conversations that I've still tried to have with her, but she doesn't lean in because she doesn't know how. But it took me a long time of forgiveness to say, I understand why you are how you are.
Who you
it doesn't mean I have to accept it or be around it.
Right.
But I can love you from afar and I understand, but I'm not going to allow you to be mean, toxic, or any of those things to me now. Right. And that was all stemmed from my childhood because as a child, I was just so free. I wanted to create art and I was like, Daddy, I want to be in chorus. I want to play an instrument. And he was like, okay. So he would take me to play, you know, my instruments, and I was in chorus. I was in a theater and art school. I play the violin, still play the violin. I'm playing it in When It's Glory. I'm also playing it in my new song. And these are all things that, because I was thriving with my father and my brother, the innocence was there until I started to pretty much get beaten up by being the Cinderella of my house.
Do you mean physically, or do you
mean... just
emotionally?
Emotionally.
Which I think sometimes is worse.
Deep. It's worse.
Because it doesn't leave.
I'd rather you fight me because the scar will go away.
And when
it's
the fight's
like, whatever,
over,
it's over. But those emotional scars as a child stay with you forever. Yes. Until we learn to unlearn them. Right. So as an innocent child, you know, I mean, I still have freedom, but there was this like, oh, I want to do this, Mom. And it was like always met with, for what? Like, just, and you're just like.
So the negative, like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to be that.
Yeah. And it was just not really a supportive place for me. And she tried and she did the best she could. And she still really tries. But when you aren't loved correctly and you don't want to unlearn those patterns, you just won't. And so that's how the children get tainted. Right. That's how the children start to kind of mold into these whatever they mold into.
Right.
So for me,
That have multiple, you're molding into multiple different things, you know, and I could tell you.
You don't even know who you are yet.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I didn't find out who I was until my father passed away.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even me. Now I'm starting to learn me. But I will tell you this, just so you know that you're not alone. My father was not loved properly.
No.
And my father, he bought us. You know what I mean? We knew he loved us. You know, there's not even a question in my mind, and would go to the wall and kill if he had to.
Yes.
But he didn't know that you don't have to give us money to say I love you.
That was his form of showing you love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're definitely not alone. And, you know, I had to look at it and be like, wow, my father did do the best he could.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
With what he had.
With what they have. Like, because being a parent is like, you know, although I will have to say I do know some people that are just like born to have kids. You ever meet people and you're like, oh, this was definitely who you were supposed to be.
My daughter-in-law who has 4 children.
You know what? Some people, this is just their vibe. You know, this is their what they were born to do. But
I miss that part.
A lot of people aren't born with that handbook, including our parents.
Correct.
Right? So once we realize that later on, which takes a lot of either therapy, self-growth, whatever you have to get there. It's great when you come to that place, but it never ends, right?
Right.
So when I was young, I ran away when I was 10, and that's why I wrote that in the song. I ran away. I never came back. I lived in trap houses.
Wow.
God definitely has me here
Sure does.
for the reason I am for sure 100% believe that I am a vessel to spread the message of, look, I made it through. I don't know how, but I do know that I never lost my faith. Sometimes my faith felt broken.
Yeah.
And
Bent.
Although I feel that sometimes I'm broken, but I'm not shattered.
Oh, okay. We're allowed to be broken.
We're allowed.
Because sometimes you want to break a piece off that doesn't belong there anymore, you know?
Absolutely. We are always growing.
Yes.
But, you know, being a really young girl, now, you know, now, I look at kids now and I'm like, they're 10 years old. How the fuck did I even get through? I can't even think about it like now.
You were
but
on your own at 10.
I was a baby. I was a little girl, but I just couldn't stand what was happening in my home.
Oh.
And I just wish I was seen more by my mom. I wish I was not bullied in my house. And it was...
So you were bullied by who in the household?
Hurt. I don't want to really dive into it too much, you know, but I mean, I literally, you know, I will say this because I was just never kind of allowed to even be happy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, Mom, look, I got an A. And my sisters would be like, so? You know, I was in the highly gifted program. I was, you know, I tested for it and I was at a very high academic level when I was 7 years old. And instead of celebrating it, they were laughing at me. Oh, you think you're so smart? These are things that really break kids.
Absolutely. I was bullied. My older sister bullied me. She would tell me, she would pin me up against the yellow Amana refrigerator. I'll never forget it. And she would tell me, you're the ugly duckling. You're the ugly duckling. And maybe one day you'll be pretty. Yeah. And that stayed with me. Yeah. That went to grammar school with me. And then when I got bullied by the 2 girls in grammar school, told me I wasn't pretty. I became ugly. Yes. The ugly duckling. I became what you said I was.
Yes.
Because if you say it...
Words are powerful.
It must be true if you say it.
Because you're supposed to love me.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be my family.
I believe you. You're my family. So if you tell me, that's it. Yeah.
Right. And that's pretty much a lot of what happened to me. And I was so confused because I was so full of love, so full of spark all the time that I was like, why? What? Like, this is crazy. But... You know, and I was also the tallest in the family. So, like, I would always get made fun of for that. Like, oh, you're a giraffe, you're this. Like, you know, as a kid, like,
I wish I was.
Like, now these, like, things are, like, great, you know. But, like, at the time, I didn't understand.
30 years later.
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, okay, I'm tall, I'm smart. Like,
tall,
that's bad?
smart, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm like,
Isn't
that's bad.
Crazy?
Yeah.
You know why? Because everybody else wasn't tall, smart, and beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to say that, but my dad told me the other day. He was like, you know what? They were always jealous of you. People were always.
Absolutely.
Including people in your own house. And that
We saw that on TV as well. So we've seen it play out.
Right.
You know, without saying it, we've seen it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know all about the person or the people that we work with at times that are very jealous.
Right.
Like, I sometimes look at them and be like, you're jealous of what? All my trauma?
Like, I'm like,
you could
and we're so like, just like, hey, what's up? Like, you know, like it.
Right.
I don't know if that's because, you know, I'm not really sure what sparks that emotion in people because I don't have it. So I can't even relate.
But that's it.
You know?
What
it's the light
they
around
don't,
you.
Exactly. They don't shine like you. And I'm not saying, you know, let me say this. There's a billion stars in the sky. Everybody could be a star.
Yeah.
Not just, everybody just can't be the North Star.
True facts, period. And so as a child, I feel that like there's a huge piece that was robbed of my innocence, but something in my spirit felt more at home in the streets than in my own home. And that was a very crazy situation because, you know, while being on the streets, you know, I've talked about this publicly, like, you know, me and my best friend at the time, we were held hostage for many days. We were shot and stabbed, you know. I helped her run away. I helped basically untie her and run away when the predator was gone. Every day this man would tell us, I'm going to kill you guys. I'm going to rape you. Like every single day. We were like 11. No, I'm sorry. We were 12, turning 13. We were kids. Like, I mean, I saw a lot of really ugly things on the streets. So for me, can't nobody tell me anything worse than things I've experienced or have seen. Because baby, I already seen it, honey.
Right.
I died. I was beaten into the pavement. I was flatlined. I was resuscitated by a neighbor that found me. That's why I believe I am a vessel by God.
Most definitely. And I
have to be here for a reason.
Absolutely. And that's why I think I get along with you so well. And there's always that connection. And I'm going to bring something up. I don't know if you remember, but I also have the same feeling of I've been dead. Like someone calls me a black cat all the time. Yeah. And I
love black cats, by the way.
If I had to count how many times I have been flatlined, I'm a black cat.
Yeah.
But one day you and I were on the phone. I was sitting outside the Staten Island Mall. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And you told me about your child. Yeah. And your son, what you went through. And I will never, ever forget that. Sitting there saying to myself, this can't be happening. This can't be true. Who does these things? Yeah. Where does this come? Because I didn't come from that. You know what I mean? I came from a crazy ass world, but not where somebody would intentionally hurt a child. Yeah. And to know you were a child. Right. Yourself.
And I didn't even know how to process the emotion. And it took so long. It took a long time for me to even talk about it.
Right. So let's bring the viewers up to date. And it's your story to tell. And you tell this much if you want or this much of it you want. I don't ever want to push you into a place of being uncomfortable. Yeah. But there's somebody else out there that you are that vessel and that you could save.
Yeah. And I think that, like, again, what I was saying about when I was in the streets, I got a job. So I wasn't like not trying to do something better for myself. Right. I always looked older because I'm tall, you know? So I got this job at a swap meet and I got my first little apartment. It was like this tiny little room, but it was mine. And I was a kid on the streets, but it is what it is. And what happened is that there was a guy that kind of kept coming around the neighborhood and he kept trying to talk to me, but I was a really street smart kid right away. Right. You know, it was just something my dad and my
feeling.
Yeah, my dad and my brother always taught me, like, yo, if somebody starts talking to you like this, like punch them in the balls, grab a brick, do what you gotta do. If somebody bigger than you and you know you can't take them down, get some bigger. Business. Yeah, do what you gotta do. Like, so I just didn't pay attention to this guy. This guy kept coming around for many, many years. And he groomed me. I was 13, maybe 14 when I met him. I kind of met him because, you know, he would come across as like this like nice person. You know, that's what groomers do, you know?
That's what
came across as like a nice guy. And you know, he convinced me that, you know, he basically just convinced me that nobody loved me and that's why I'm on the streets.
Right. And he can make your life
and that
better.
he can, right. And he actually was like the worst thing that happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
And I would say the hardest part about it wasn't him. It was what happened along the way. And, you know, I was a kid. He robbed me of my innocence. Because you don't really know how to be a young woman when you're on the streets.
You don't even know how to be a grown woman at 19 or 20. You don't even know
at
it.
all. And like, my mother didn't teach me how to, you know, when our menstrual cycle, when it came, she didn't teach me how, you know, what that meant. So I didn't.
It comes every 28 days.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Right.
You know, I had no idea. And so I got pregnant and I told him and he was like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking, bye.
Wow.
And I basically was on the streets, pregnant, riding the bus. And close to, I'm writing this in the book, so I don't want to tell everything.
Sure.
But I literally had nowhere to go because I, you know, couldn't really work anymore.
Right.
Because nobody wanted to give me a job with a stomach and
a child.
And like, yeah. And so I went to his mother's house and I begged her if I could stay with her, and she hated me. When I tell you, this woman, this took everything of me, and I told her, look, I know you don't like me, but let me just stay here until I have my baby. Let me get on my feet, and I'll be out of your hair.
Right.
Let me just
have a place to rest
through this.
Right.
And she said, sure, but I was sleeping in their garage on a couch. And she did some really horrific things where she tried to unalive me.
Oh.
And it was like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right, yeah. Right? The apple don't fall far from the tree.
And there was still this innocence in me that I'm like, maybe I can win this lady over. So I would clean. I would do everything I could as a people pleaser.
Yep. And just so somebody would give you that little bit of love that you so desperately wanted.
Right, just a little bit. And I mean, the day that I knew, there's some things happened to me that changed spiritually.
Okay.
But
in a positive way, or you were being
it was
shaken from your spirituality?
Yeah, it was negative because she tried to unalive me. One day she made some soup and she was like, you know, here, you know, here's dinner or whatever. And you know when soup is boiling, it's like bubbling. And I was like, that's weird. Why is it still bubbling, you know?
Oh,
and
my God.
I was digging in it and it was full of maggots.
Oh, my God.
And it tasted sour. And it was like that.
Who the fuck does this? Do you have her address?
Yeah, girl, I wish. Because right about now, I don't give a fuck.
No,
I got a retainer with my lawyer. It's okay. Oh, I wish.
Well, you know what?
I wish.
You watch it, and by no means are we threatening anyone, but what I'm saying is you watch how God works, because I'll tell you something. My ex-husband, who did that to my father, and unfortunately my son ended up getting his head cracked open in 14 staples. He has blood cancer. So God sees everything.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I'm not saying in a threatening way, I'm just saying God visits you.
Absolutely. Like, I mean,
what you put out, you get back out.
Something happened
how horrible.
within that I was like, I don't know why, but it just had this really weird, intense feeling, and I felt it with my son. He was kicking, just almost like trying to get out.
Like a warning.
Yeah, like a warning.
Like, don't do it. Yeah, wow.
This is why I believe really strongly in a woman's intuition and a mother's curse and a mother's intuition.
Yes.
It's real because we were born to give. You have
life.
The universe. We give life.
There's nothing greater than we are.
Nothing. There's no greater pain. We are the strongest. We are everything.
You know, they always,
everything.
when you watch King of the Jungle, right? When you watch the lion, but when you see the lioness, how much more she's
Power.
so much more.
Yeah. If you go back to like a lot of the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, all of the books, the woman is always put forth.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I don't know. I just had this really weird feeling. And there's a lot of things that happened in between that time. Then my baby's father came around, and I was like, what are you doing here?
Because now you're done.
Yeah, like both of you, like I can't. I'm only here because this is what I got to do. And, you know, again, there's some things that I'm waiting to write about because it's a lot. It's a lot that happened between that moment. But, you know, he basically just is the reason why my son was murdered. It's him. He did it.
I'm so sorry.
I feel strongly that I don't know how to explain how I will never forget that feeling of what happened.
You can't. That's your child.
When my son died in my arms, you know?
I'm so sorry.
And it's like seeing your son gasping for breath is like the ugliest feeling, and like you can't do anything about it. You can't save them.
No, you can't. But
you can't, like, it is the biggest fear to not be able to protect your child. And, you know, you're young, you don't know what you're doing, you have nobody, you know, like, you just feel helpless.
Because you are helpless at that stage.
You feel
and
you just feel helpless because every mother's worst nightmare is to not protect their child.
You know, I have
or to make a mistake with who
it's just like it's anything. Murder I cannot even understand, but when my grandson will jump up like by the ledge, and if he jumps up too high he could lose balance and flip over, and he'll end up down the stairs. Just that thought for me as a grandparent, let alone I could never understand what you went through losing your child. I could never.
I mean, it's like this guy like just wanted to destroy everything about me. Like he just didn't, I don't know, there was something about him that just didn't want to let me be great.
Because you are that light.
Oh,
you are that light.
I understand that now, but it was just such a wild experience because, you know, when it happened, I just, you know, he basically, I don't even know if he's alive or not, like, you know, but he fled the country from what I know of. And then I kind of went about my life, you know, like, and then one day I was coming home and he ambushed me. I hadn't heard from this guy at all. I didn't even know he was alive anymore. I didn't know anything about him. And my best friend, who's a guy, had walked me home. Really, I actually wish I could find him, and I keep looking for him, but like I can't find him because he was there for me because I was so depressed, and he was like, you gotta come out of the house. Let me take you to the movies. Me, you, my mom will all go, like, just so you can feel better. Like, he was just such a good person, and he walked me home, and this guy ambushed me. I don't know how he found me, for one. For two, but then again, it's the hood, so it's small.
Yeah, but you know what?
Your
abuser never, ever, ever lets you out of sight. You might think they don't know where you are. Trust and believe. I have one that's still around, so I know it's true.
So he ambushed me, and I was like, it happened so fast. Like, he was just like, if I can't have you, bitch, nobody will. And I just remember him laughing and just beating me into the pavement, and I don't remember anything else. I woke up and my chest hurt, and he knocked out all my teeth, which is the reason why I actually had to get veneers.
Right.
I didn't get them for aesthetic reasons. Like, I actually I had beautiful teeth before.
Right.
And he cracked my skull. I have a scar that goes from here all the way to the back. My right side of my face and partial of my left is paralyzed because he broke all my bones. Like, my face was sunken in. My nose was...
Did you go to the police?
Let me tell you something. You don't go to the cops. I tell
I'm
the
just
cops.
I don't know.
It's like you know what happened.
Well, I mean, I know I can't go to the cops.
Yeah, the whole hood went out to look for him. That's what happened.
Okay.
Because when the cops came, of course, I was like,
yeah,
I didn't even know what happened. It was just so much going on. I was just like, I'm in an ambulance. I didn't even know anything.
Right,
yeah,
absolutely.
I was dazed. I was dazed.
Way more than dazed, baby.
Yeah,
getting your skull cracked.
Yeah,
yes.
and I don't know. It's just like it's such a weird blur, but I definitely told him, he was. I mean, I really now realize I had very minimum information about him.
Right.
Because, but the whole hood knew him.
Right.
So everyone went out to look for him. They looked for him for months. No one could find him. So we believe that he went to Mexico, because he had family in Mexico. And I just kind of moved on with my life. A lot of things happened in between, but when I say like really life tried to break me, but I fought back, it's because my soul.
That's another line.
It's in the song. My soul, it wasn't the end for me. This is not the end for me. There's so much more.
Somaya, you're like the gift that keeps on giving, because every time I turn around, you have something around you that is so powerful. Like you have a light. You know, in this industry that we're in, you have fair weather friends and you know what it is. Yeah. We've been friends for how, 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years. And you're always, anytime I needed you for anything or vice, it's there. Yeah. It's just this. Some people that you're drawn to because you are the light.
Thank you.
You most certainly are a light. You're such a pleasure to be around. Absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, I just feel like that after all of the things that I've been through, like I choose not to hurt people like they've hurt me. And it's not easy because hurt people do hurt people, and like it's, I have lots of friends that tell me how do I get to that place, and like I don't know. It's just like years of like, I just feel like the world is so ugly. We don't have to be that way.
Absolutely.
And it's hard. Yeah. It's growth.
It is.
It's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not wanting to be the things and people that hurt you.
Right. I mean, and sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I want to be the person that just hits my ex-husband over the head with a shovel. I kid you not. Knowing that my son got hurt because of him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it takes a lot, especially, as a parent, not to be able to react to something.
Yeah.
But at the same breath,
like,
what kind of person would I be?
Right.
What would happen if that took me away from my son and my grandchildren?
I was going to say, you go to jail because, he going to snitch. And
he's already a snitch.
Okay. So, yeah, it's like, it's kind of like the unhealed version of you and the healed version of you constantly fighting.
And they have an argument at the top of my head.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. Believe me, there are moments I'm like, I could handle this one way, or I could handle it another.
Or I can handle it the right way. One way or the right way.
Yeah, I just, it's a constant, it's like all of those traumatic things that happen to us. Mm-hmm. I used to think, like, oh, all these struggles and bad things happened to me because they were supposed to. And no, we were not. Well, I was not supposed to be traumatized. I absolutely will not accept that. Right. But I do believe that God gave me this path so that I can come out on the other side, tell my story, and help people.
You're clearing the way for somebody else to walk the path.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to go through all the what's the word I'm looking for? The branches and the thorn bush.
Like, girl, I already went through it. You want some advice? Well, I got you.
Matter of fact, you know what?
Got you.
Don't make a left there. Make the right.
I made the mistake, girl. You need some advice? I got you, girl.
Yeah, because I already did it. Pick the book up and read it. Yeah. And I'm not even just talking about your book.
Yeah.
But when you hear, like, it's like when addicts will reach out to me and ask for help. And they're like, well, how did you do it? And I'm like, I didn't quit.
Right.
I didn't quit.
I kept showing up.
Yeah.
You kept showing up.
Even if it was a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time, and I would get 6 months and then I would get 10 months and then I would fall on my face again and everybody would laugh at me again. And, all the people trying to kick me when I was down are actually the people that made me climb.
Right.
So you can think you can,
Right.
like, you think you're doing some damage to me.
Right.
You're just you're building me
Right.
and my spirit back.
Right.
You know, and
they hope that here's the really interesting thing about
right.
people,
Oh,
right? Okay, we can get into
tell.
that part. So the interesting part of humans, right, is that there's all types of us out there, right? But there are some people out there that really think, I can break this one and I'm going to break her, and they get off on it. And they don't know that not everybody, we might be a little bit broken, might be a little bit down, maybe a little bit sad, but people like me, you bounce back.
You know what I say?
The bounce back.
Bend. I don't break, I bend.
Right. Because they do that in hopes that you don't know your own strength.
Oh, amen.
And they do that because they were successful at breaking someone else.
No,
and
they
it
were
gave them
broken.
joy.
They got broke.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And so they're hoping you will too.
That's right.
They're hoping you will too. And for some reason, I've never really kind of understood that concept at all, because I've had people that have hurt me and whatnot. We've had arguments, whatever the case is, but I have never been somebody that's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna
go fuck that person's life up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
I'm gonna I'm gonna just ruin your entire everything.
Because I feel like it today.
Yeah, just because I feel like it, and I'm mad, so you should be mad too.
I'm starting
not like
to
that.
see there are a lot of evil. You know, I was mentioning to you and Kay in the back that I was dating somebody that just got joy out of watching me cry. And you know what's crazy?
That's some weird shit.
You know what?
That's some weirdo shit. Like
it is. But you know, now I understand so much more.
Narcissism at its best.
Ooh, that's
we can have the narc talk too.
Yeah, well, the narc, my ex-husband, rat, or the narcissist. Absolutely, because those, I want to know who did it to them.
Right.
Like, you know what? I started to answer this person back like,
who hurt you?
That was me. I said, you know, when he would
you?
say, you're fat, you're ugly, who's looking at you?
So why are you with me then?
You know what? Was it your mother?
Yeah, of course
was
it was.
Your mother?
Of course.
Wait, you didn't grow up with your father. Because now I'm gonna and it's not. I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm trying to let you know I know.
Yes,
I know.
Absolutely.
You know, I know why you love bomb. You love bomb because you think, and it's happened to me. That con game is real.
Yeah. Oh, it happened to me too. And I stayed too long.
Yes.
I stayed too long.
Oh, I must deserve this.
I am ashamed to admit that I stayed too long.
Don't ever be ashamed.
However, the only reason why, because I cringe at the thought. I'm like, ugh, why did I even stay there? However, it brought me to this space now that I'm like, no, that's never happened to me again.
You know what?
Ever.
I
learned my lesson, Jesus, whatever that was. Okay, still don't know what it was, but I get it.
Look, I had to start telling God, like, look, buddy, I'm tapping out. Okay,
Yeah.
Can you stop giving me things that you think I can handle? I'm
you know
good.
what,
look,
God?
Look, tap out.
I know I'm on your strongest warrior list, but this year, give me a year off.
Yeah,
you know, let me live in my soft girl season, okay? Because I'm tired.
Fucking tired.
Okay. Strong women we become strong because we have no choice. We haven't given that choice. And we can also talk about the narcs, because I see this rhetoric all the time online, right? Men, particularly men with podcasts, you guys need your mics taken away. But anyway.
Strip them.
Okay. There are men that will literally go out there and say, I don't want masculine women and tough women. Well, have you ever made a woman feel so safe that they felt feminine? Tough. That she doesn't have to feel tough?
Ooh.
How about that part?
Yes. Because you know what? I never even thought of it like that.
That's when we feel our most feminine.
Is when we're safe.
We're like,
that's the biggest thing for me in a relationship is I just want to feel safe.
Of course.
If the money isn't all there, I get it. But as long as you make me feel safe, that money's going to come.
Yes.
Because together we're stronger. Together we're better. But when you're busy ripping me apart, you're ripping apart your bread and butter because I'm going to be
turning me into the Hulk. You know, now I got to boss up on you.
For a reason,
okay, period. Okay. But it's just this thing, and it also happens in friendships and anything. When somebody doesn't make you feel safe, then you have to turn on your masculine. You have to turn on your.
And it's not even masculine. It's just a strong woman.
It's just a strong woman.
Like, you know, you want to say people want to say it's masculine. Well, you're a bitch. That's
Yeah.
why you think it's masculine, because
Yeah.
you're a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not here
The
to
reason
bash
why
men.
I think, yeah,
Even though
I think
like
that the
to
reason,
a few of them.
oh, listen, okay, I know a couple of really good guys, but a lot of y'all are wilding out there, y'all fellas. But if you just take the time, here's the thing about men. If they would just take the time to also search within themselves,
Yep.
because just as there are bad women, there are bad men too.
Absolutely.
And the biggest issue is, I don't care what anyone says when people are like, oh, well, you chose to date that person or you keep finding them. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm going to tell you something really interesting that I've learned over the years.
Do tell.
When you're a nice person and you're an empath and you're just a charming person, whatever, you're light, you attract flies.
Shit.
Think about how light attracts moths.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, whether you're a man or a woman. Yep. So sometimes, because men are manipulators.
When you're the shit, the flies will come.
Yeah, and some men are manipulative in that way, right? So like they'll tell you all the like nice things. It happened to me, you know, but women will do it too, okay? Because I'm not letting y'all bitches off the hook either. Because I've dated some women that I'm just like, never again. But I will notice this. Everything in life is an experience, right?
Is.
Everything in life is an experience. Do I want us to continue to be on God's warrior list? Absolutely not.
No.
But if we have to continue to experience things until we learn our lesson, unfortunately, that's the way spirit and God works.
Yes.
So you will, now I learned my lesson. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's listening, I'm good, please.
Tapping out.
You know, but I did notice though that in my personal journey is that a lot of the patterns that like we don't like within ourselves or other people or people we date,
is
friendships
we don't like about ourselves.
Yeah, and it will keep coming back in different bodies, different situations,
1,000,000%.
until you learn your lesson.
1,000,000%.
But you won't learn your lesson until you're finally ready to admit that you keep repainting the red flags.
You know what? We're gonna call them by their states when I talk about these two. When I was dating Texas, I should have already known that he was Mr. New Jersey, where it started, or Mr. New York, should I say. And then the last guy I just dated, I should have known better because he was Texas. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're right. They keep showing up in a different body. But the craziest part for me, they both had the same name. God, listen.
You know what?
No.
You know what?
Let me make you laugh.
I love you. What is wrong with you?
My ex-husband's last name is Pagan.
Wow.
I'm a true believer in God.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
His last name is, Pagan. Pagan, okay? I got married in a church called Our Lady of Pity, and a black crow sat above me the day I got married.
Oh.
God wasn't flagging me. Like,
Right.
no. And on the way down the aisle, I'm like, Daddy, please don't make me do it. And he said, you got 500 people coming to that wedding. Get down the fucking aisle. You get divorced tomorrow. That was my wedding day.
Yeah.
I married the devil.
Man.
And I'm convinced there's nothing anybody can tell me that he wasn't an evil entity in my life.
Yeah.
And he just manifested into a different man.
Yes.
Into a different man. Because you know what? I was so used to getting abused that I accepted it.
Yeah.
Now, God help you if you think you're coming to me with any sideways shit. Because I'm right here.
Yes.
I'm not... Now, I could see you coming now.
It's a thing that you either learn... I mean... You either learn it a little earlier or later, but as long as you learn it, it's okay.
I learned it.
Because that's all that matters. Because for me, it was like, after that situation, I was like, oh, well, first of all, I was like, the funny thing is that the guy didn't really treat me bad until those moments. Right. So he totally had me thinking something else. Yeah.
Right.
But I definitely always made it like, everyone that I ever dated after that, I was like, I only like nice people. I dated a lot of really nice people. It just didn't work out.
Right.
You know, I had one really horrific experience after that, but that's it. I dated a lot of really nice people. I was just like, I don't want to like deal with assholes, idiots. I'm in a very good place now, but I did learn though that in other ways it may have manifested, you know?
Right.
Because again, like for you, you know, it kept showing up until you learn your lesson. And it can also show up through like shitty friendships. You know,
Absolutely. It doesn't always have to be a man.
No, it doesn't have to be your relationship. It could be family members. It could be toxic family. And although we don't really, I will have to say, for anyone out there that's listening, you have the power to walk away at all times, no matter who it is.
You know, the sad part is, I don't know if you know this.
And I know it takes time to know that.
It takes a woman 7 times of being abused and knocked down before she walks out the door. 7 times.
Maybe even 27.
Yeah, well, the average, they say, I've been reading it, but the average is 7 times. So you can get smacked 7 times before you even think about it.
Right.
Where a woman who has that self-respect off the bat,
Right.
and it's built in her, will walk out day one. The woman who...
Because not everybody has it, though, built in them. You know what
I'm
saying?
I didn't, and I should have who I came from.
You know what? And it's okay, because it's all part of like a learning curve. And hopefully, and I pray that anyone that's in a bad situation that could possibly end their life, I hope that they walk away.
Oh, and I hope if anybody's listening, please reach out. Please
reach out to anyone, whether it's me, her, like
absolutely.
Call 911 on the low. I'll call them for you, because
I will call her to call them for you.
I got you. Listen, it's
I'll call my lawyer. I'll call my lawyer.
Okay, I don't care.
I'll call my lawyer.
Yeah, because I think that being women that have went through that, this is a special gift that we also can have to for other women.
Yes.
And men too, because
and
some
I'm joking.
men
Let me say this, Somaya. If someone called me and told me that they were about to be murdered, I'm picking the phone up too.
Of course,
You know, I have to make a joke and something that makes me feel uncomfortable because I don't actually have to handle those type of things.
Right.
But if anybody ever called me and said, "Hey, Renee, save my life," Renee's coming to save your life.
Right, yeah.
You know, hands
absolutely.
down, without a cape.
Haps, you ain't got to tell me twice. Just a blink. I got you.
Right.
But, you know, it's just all part of, again, life lessons, because we're forever evolving. And when you do get to a point, if you get to a point that you learn your lesson, or you're just tired, you're over it, you're like, I can't anymore.
Right.
Walk away.
Right.
And that includes with everything. And I often have these conversations with my fans on TikTok Live. Okay. TikTok Live, I see you on there too. Like it's
being a goofball, dancing like a child.
And that's great.
I love it.
Embrace your inner child.
I am.
Because why not?
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wasted too much fucking time not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to have fun now.
Mm-hmm. And you should, and you will, and I want you to.
So tell me, when did you make that? When was that pivotal point? Like, I obviously was later on in life. So that pivotal point brought you to this last album. Mm-hmm. When was it? When was it that second that you decided to make this album and make it? Would you say it's your strongest or your most beautiful?
I would say it's definitely, I'm in a very honest space.
Okay.
You know, this time around with music, there are many records that are about the message.
Right.
And Witness Glory is not really a record. It's more of just a piece where I'm speaking about some things, right? And my current single right now that is going to be coming out June 11th, it's called Get It Girl. And Get It Girl has mantras in it. Okay. So the mantras, you know, one of them is, you deserve nice things. Look in the mirror. Now say, get it, girl.
Oh, I love it.
Look in the mirror and tell yourself, you deserve nice things. Get it, girl.
I love it.
So it's
I got chills.
Yeah, it's all about women, this song. I put a preview yesterday. People are digging it. And I want to make music now that just really hits
and
in different ways and resonates.
You really are right now.
Because I really want love out there. Of course, it's turn up music, but the turn up is sending the message of, you know, the world doesn't always want to see you win, and that's okay.
That's okay. We don't live with the world.
Yeah.
Just the people around us.
Everything's going to be all right. Todo va a estar bien. Get it, girl. Like, just go out and do your thing. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom. This song is actually written for women that are all diversities, about equality. Doesn't matter if you are a trans woman, if you're a bi woman, if you're a straight woman, if you're an OnlyFans model, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a stay-at-home mom, you're a bad bitch regardless.
Absolutely.
You are a baddie regardless, because it transcends physical appearances.
Right.
Women are dope.
Absolutely.
We are dope.
I wish a couple of them would get addicted to me now. I said addicted.
I mean, if you find the right woman, you could get addicted. You know what I'm saying?
But that just this little bit right here is that comfortable feeling you have to tell another woman how you feel, and that I want to get it. Like I'm worth that. I'm worth that.
You are worth that.
Absolutely.
You are worth it. You're that bitch. You're the shit. You are smart. You are beautiful. You matter.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
All women matter, honey.
That's what it's about.
That's
you
right.
can't tell me any different. I have always felt this way. And I love the space that I'm in, that I'm able to do that, without being toxic about it. It's more championing for
exactly.
women.
We're not hanging anybody.
No.
We're just saying go out, get it, and get it now because you're worth it.
Exactly. So that's kind of
it.
the whole concept of the record.
Okay.
And some of the records I follow after also have honest moments, and I'm singing, I'm rapping. Some are in Spanish, some are in English. So you will see more after that, but you will hear
I'm so
more.
Proud of you.
But for the most part, I just really want to be a light in someone's life. I want to be someone that it's okay. You know that. I've always told you.
Yep.
You've told me things that will go to the grave with me. And I've always told you, you always told me thank you for not judging me. And how can I? Because in we always say this in our house. We're like, in our house, we have real conversations. We have difficult conversations.
Right.
We are honest. No one is better than one another.
You know, my father taught me,
we're equal.
Nobody's better than you, and you're not better than anyone else. My father always told me that.
We are together, a unit.
Yes.
And if we move like a unit, we can conquer so much because
more. Yep.
so much of the world is against us as it is. Like, to me, I don't care like what anyone says. Women are constantly being attacked. All the time, right and left. It's been happening for years, and it's more on the forefront now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's right now is our moment to champion for other women.
Okay, so what? On the count of three, we're going to look at that camera, and we're going to say, get it, girl.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Get it, girl. So before we go, tell me what else. Tell me more about what you have going on.
Sure.
Brand-wise, let's get it.
So my new song that's coming out, like I said, June 11th, is called Get It Girl. And it's featuring DJ Tamil, which is the founding father and pioneer of Jersey club music.
Okay.
I know you like that.
Okay.
And it's produced by Katie Kaboom, which is Kay.
Right.
And my
Kay. I love
Kay is
Kay.
amazing. Just so brilliant. And again, we're championing for women on this record.
Okay.
And as far as my brand is concerned, This Fits Me.
Yes.
The reason why I called it This Fits Me, which is interesting how you mentioned this, I made it so that you can find your individual
This fits me.
This fits me
Absolutely.
product. So you're like, you know what? This fits me and my lifestyle.
Yes.
And so my company, we have a variety of wellness products. We started with Slim Tea.
Yes.
We are the original company of the Slim Tea that you saw online. However, the difference between me and other companies is that not only do we believe in a realistic approach to beauty and fitness, we also have a motto where beauty is not just in one size.
It absolutely
at
isn't.
all.
Absolutely.
So I want to be a part of putting forth good health products that help people.
Right.
My company doesn't tell people lose weight in 5 minutes or one day, 1 week. It doesn't work that way.
No, it definitely
My
doesn't,
products,
honey.
we started with a Slim Tea line. We now have a juicing line. We have organic products. We have a master cleanse.
Oh, I'm going to need that
certified,
and that.
We are certified, licensed, bonded, great reviews, excellent reviews. And we started out with those products, which was mainly for gut health.
Right.
And we then...
Because that affects your mental.
Gut health is everything. You heard of gut instinct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So gut health is not only... It's kind of like the motherboard to your body. So it's a little deeper than just physical appearance, which is why our company has logos on every product that's mind, body, and soul. So we started with our health and wellness products, and we're transparent with our ingredients. We have biodegradable packaging, so we're very go green with our company.
Right.
And we don't outsource. We are we hold our products to a high quality standard.
Right.
And we are constantly, making sure that our products are up to par with what our customers want.
Right.
We started with that, and then now we have natural, bath and body products.
I love it.
We have bath and body products. We have things that just really are, of course, things do have to have chemicals, but ours don't have chemicals that are bad for your skin.
Right.
We try to stay as,
pure as possible.
As pure as possible, as homestead as possible, as artesian as possible.
Right.
So we carry lotions, we carry soaps. I've got a package for you.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
baby.
And we also have and some of these recipes are recipes from our indigenous family.
I love it.
So my grandmother's skin looked amazing, and she used to make her own oatmeal soap. And
Okay.
I started carrying the same recipe, and this soap will have your skin looking amazing.
Oh, I need it.
all the time.
I love it.
And it is so healing for your skin. And if you actually look up the benefits of oats, it is endless from...
Well, I know it because I have fibromyalgia, so I know it helps tremendously with calming the skin down. Because
does.
I'll get very irritated when
Yes.
the nerves are on fire.
Yeah.
And it's the oatmeal bath that
Yes.
I like. Listen.
Yeah.
If I could have taken a bath in my oatmeal that I ate this morning, I would have. Okay.
Right. So we carry a lot of products for people like that.
Yes.
I have sensitive skin, so I built it around my sensitive skin, and I know that it's everyone else's.
Absolutely.
So that's This Fits Me, and you can find us at shopthisfitsme.com.
I love this.
And, I'm currently writing a book. I'm in negotiations to be on other TV shows, but really, I'm honestly just focused on, my peace, creating space for others, so that they can bloom, that they can feel comfortable, so that they can learn, my music, and just truly always developing and growing as a woman. That's
God
what it's
is
about.
Great. God is so great. Grace and mercy. I'm so happy for you, and
Thank
I
you.
always love seeing you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to you need to come
I
over.
know I do.
We grow our own vegetables, girl. We grow our
Hey.
own fruits.
Oh,
we make our own seasonings, y'all. Seasoning line might be popping up at This Fits
Okay.
Me.
Well, let's do it all. Let's take the bull by the horns. The bull by the balls.
That's more on brand for you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Somaya. I
Thank you
appreciate
for having me.
Oh, always, always.
Yeah.
I'm your girl, Renee Graziano. This has been another episode of the CrySis Queen, and you can find all the links for Somaya, her company, and me, myself, in the bio below.